Hello students, my name is Professor P.M. Sandhyarani. I am Professor and Chairperson, Center for Population Health and Development, School of Development Studies, Tata Institute of Social Sciences. I will be discussing about the module on National Nutrition Policy of India from the paper on Population and Health. National Nutrition Policy of India. Nutrition affects development as much as development affects nutrition. In this quotation, the National Nutrition Policy of India started. That means how important nutrition for the development of the nation. The interlink between the nutrition and development was very much highlighted in National Nutrition Policy of India. So this gives us the message and information that for the development of the country, the nutrition plays key role and important place it has been occupied, and that is why nutrition is important for the development of the country. This National Nutrition Policy has been divided into two sections. The one is called direct intervention or short-term measurements. The other one is called indirect interventions or long-term interventions. In this category, the direct intervention or short-term, the following issues are all given under this one. Nutrition intervention for specially vulnerable groups. Under this category, expanding the safety net. Expanding the safety net means the important nutrition security programs are being reached out each and everyone who deserve nutritional interventions, so that the expansion of the safety net give good results. Behavioral changes. Behavioral changes of any individual plays important role for the nutrition consumption. So nutrition intake or nutrition consumption or food intake behavior, all these things are all highly related with the behavioral changes, because customs, tradition or belief systems play major role in food consumption pattern. Given the diversity and the different social other traditional practices of our country, the behavioral change is one of the important component to attain the nutrition issues. That is why in direct intervention, behavioral changes has been placed. Next, reaching the adolescent girls. Reaching the adolescent girls is placed under direct intervention because adolescent is a period, it is a transition period from childhood to adulthood. During adolescent period, lot of physical, biological, hormonal changes, growth spurt, all these things happen. Adolescent is a period between 10 to 19 years age group. Adolescent period, especially for the girls attaining puberty, menarche, menstruation, all these secondary sex organs growth, these things are also important factor that for that nutrition plays major role. Even for boys, adolescent growth spurt, secondary sex organ growth, identity crisis, hormonal changes are important during adolescent period. That is why adolescent plays major role when you are talking of the nutrition. To take care of adolescent girls especially, because adolescent marriage, adolescent pregnancy is also one of the important issue at national level. To address all these things, adolescent nutrition plays important role. Ensuring better coverage of expectant women. Ensuring better coverage of expectant women means that pregnant woman nutrition is one of the important place in nutrition intervention schemes, so that during pregnancy the food intake is very important. So the poverty or marginalized groups, women, because of income level or poor status, they cannot consume expected nutritive food during pregnant period. So for that sake, the expectant woman nutrition is one of the important issue under the direct intervention of the National Nutrition Policy. Fortification of essential foods, that means strengthening the essential foods, is important for this one. Popularization of low cost nutritious food, that means for nutrition it is not the thing of that high expensive food only can give nutritive importance. It is not that one. The low cost nutritious food is also important and play equal role. So for that, popularization and giving awareness to get the low cost nutritious food consumption among the people is one of the important factor. Control of micronutrient deficiency among vulnerable groups. When we are talking of the nutrients, how important macronutrients, same equal important is the micronutrients. The deficiency of micronutrients, it plays another disorders and diseases in the people. So control the micronutrient deficiencies among the vulnerable groups is one of the important component under direct interventions. Coming to the indirect policy instruments, long-term institutional and structural changes. This one is indirect policy instrument is, it is not immediately but it has long-term issues. Under that one, food security. Food security means the availability, accessibility, affordability of food for all people is called the food security. So under food security, how the government can take care of the people to get their own food. So that is one of the long-term measures. For that, what type of policy measures they can take and they will implement, these are all the important issues under the food security. Improvement of dietary pattern through production and demonstration. Improvement of dietary pattern through production and demonstration also gives in a long-term way under the policy implications. Policies for affecting income transfers so as to improve the entitlement package of the rural and urban poor. Here, rural and urban poor combinedly coming under the main vulnerable groups. For that one, how income transfers can be taken care to improve their purchasing power. Improving the purchasing power is how income generation schemes or programs can be started. By giving the employment or temporary employment, all other skilled type of professions can be provided the persons to get some limited improvement of their financial income. So with that income, the purchasing power can be improved so that they can purchase the required grains and then consume. That is the major agenda idea under the improving the purchasing power. Then public distribution system. Under public distribution system, the coverage of the people for the essential food goods has been improved. In some of the areas, there were the more than 80% of the population has been covered under the BPL family category public distribution system, so that the universalization of public distribution can solve the hunger or starvation, so that the families can take their own food grains. Then land reforms. The land reforms are all at larger level. Health and family welfare. Health and family welfare, though it has been related with the health sector, but it also has linkages with the nutrition sector, food sector. That is why health and family welfare program schemes are also placed on the long-term measures. Basic health and nutritious knowledge. Basic health and nutrition knowledge is related to the nutrition education program. In this one, health and nutrition education program has to be undertaken at village level, at school level, or other institutional level, or some of the invitees come and give lectures for the sake of the understanding of the nutritious important issues, or providing the proper knowledge related to the food consumption pattern, all these things. Prevention of food adulteration. This is another major component to prevent food adulteration. What type of measures they can take, or what type of mechanization they can implement. Nutrition surveillance. Nutrition surveillance is another program to supervising the nutrition programs or other issues. Monitoring of nutrition programs. Nutrition programs needs regular monitoring so any loopholes or any disadvantages happen in the programs can be corrected, and then the nutrition programs can smoothly run. Research related the nutrition is one of the important issue, because the regular research findings can help for undertaking any interventions. Because of the research, any region or any community, any area is facing any deficiency disorders or undernutrition issues or other issues related to the nutrition can be bring it to the notice to the concerned higher authorities, so that the needed interventions can be taken and programs related to the nutrition can be implemented. That is why research and nutrition research is one of the important component when we are talking of the nutrition improvement. Equal remuneration. Equal remuneration means there should not be any discrimination on the basis of any gender or region or caste, creed or anything. That whoever is there, for them the remuneration should be given on equal basis. Communication. Communication is one of the important issue where through communication any information related to the nutrition or nutrition related programs, schemes or other issues can be communicated so that it can give expected results. Minimum wage administration. Minimum wage administration is for the sake of the labor force. That means if any labor person or whoever worker can get the minimum wage, so that his or her purchasing power can be improved, so that they can get consumption of good nutritive food. Community participation. Community participation is one of the important issue, because if a whole community come together and they can raise the issues, what are their needs and other issues related to the nutrition or other programs, that can bring it to the concerned authorities, so that the authorities can take immediate action, or if not, the community can again rise and then they will get their entitlements. That is why community participation is one of the important issue when we are talking of the policy implementation things. Generating awareness among the community regarding the national nutritional policy and its major concerns. This one, that means awareness, knowledge related the national nutrition policy and its major outcomes or concerns has to be reached each and every one and the community. Involving the community through their panchayats, that means strengthening the panchayats and the community so that they can raise their rights and then they can get their entitlements. Participation of women. Women plays major role, especially in the nutrition for the household level. So woman is the key person at household food consumption pattern. So woman is the person, even pregnant woman, lactating woman, adolescent girls, all these are all come under the category of the woman. So they all play major role when the issue of the nutrition and child nutrition or family nutrition status. For all these things, women should participate actively for the what are the nutrition programs or entitlements or how to get that one, women should play major role. That is why participation of women is one of the important issue. Promoting schemes relating to kitchen gardens, that is, kitchen gardens is a very less expensive one and easily available and then low cost things. People can get at any time whatever the food items they can grow in their backyards or anywhere, wherever they get places and all. So through kitchen gardens, some of the nutritive issues can be solved. So that is why to encourage everyone to grow kitchen gardens for the sake of the nutritive food consumption, it is one of the important issue. Generation of effective demand at the level of the community for all services relating to nutrition. That means the people or the community should come out and then raise their voice, what they need, how to get, where to approach, what are the issues, what are the other paths to take this one. All these things, awareness has to be created, and at the same time demand at the community has to be created so that the nutrition can reach to them, nutritive food can reach them, the food and food security issues can be solved, so that at household level or at community level food has be assured. Education and literacy. Education literacy is one of the developmental indicator, because the education will make the person knowledge, awareness, understanding, and all these things is the positive side of this one. Because of the education, the people can understand what type of food they have to consume, what type of food they have to give for vulnerable groups, who are all vulnerable groups, why they have to eat this type of food, and all these informations they can understand and then they can implement. So that is why education and literacy is one of the component in the policy included. Improvement of status of women. Improvement of status of women. How status of women can be improved? Status of women is which is related with the empowerment of women. The empowerment of women can be measured through her participation at household level decision making process, her mobility, her involvement at various social networking things, organizations. All these things combinedly can give us status of woman. So for that one, women should actively participate at various programs or various networking things or other related issues, so that she can understand one side and she can participate another side, another thing she can also follow and she can adapt and she can educate and she can implement at household level as a key person at family level, so that the nutrition status of the family will be improved. That is why status of woman is one of the important role when we are talking of the National Nutrition Policy of India. The National Food Security Act 2013. The National Food Security Act was passed in the Parliament, which was accepted and smoothly passed from all parties, all sections, because the national food security is one of the important thing for the country. So the National Food Security Act speaks what are the things has been written in this act. So we can discuss the National Food Security Act as follows. The National Food Security Act tells right to receive food grains under public distribution system. That means everyone has right to receive food grains under public distribution system. That is what the Food Security Act tells. Next, nutritional support to pregnant woman and lactating mother. The Food Security Act tells the important issue of the nutritional support to pregnant woman during her pregnancy and lactating mothers after delivery for feeding the child. So for these two categories of women are come under the important section for the nutritional support. That is why Food Security Act makes important nutritional support to pregnant women and lactating mothers. Next, nutritional support to children. Nutritional support to children, because our nation, India, is still not achieved complete eradication of child malnutrition, because child malnutrition, underweight, anemia, stunting, all these things are all major components still country is facing. And when it comes for the nutrition status of children, we are not reached to the developed nations. So that is why children's nutrition status is one of the important issue. That is why even though we have different programs, schemes to target the child nutrition, still we are lagging behind to achieve the complete nutrition status of the children. For that sake, Food Security Act has been given more importance for the nutrition support to children. Prevention and management of child malnutrition. Prevention and management of child malnutrition. How child malnutrition can be prevented. Here we have to remember, child malnutrition is not only the undernutrition, it is overnutrition which can cause because of the obesity. Whatever, whether it is undernutrition or overnutrition, child malnutrition is one of the important thing. How to address or how to prevent this child malnutrition is one of the important thing when we are talking of the Food Security Act. Then implement of schemes for entitlements. The implementation of the schemes which all come under the entitlement has to be taken properly, and it has to be implemented smoothly. That is what, there should not be any lacking or there should not be any issues to implement the schemes, so that whoever is entitled for this one, that schemes has to be reached for the needy groups. Right to receive food security allowance. That means whoever is come under this one food security allowance category, they all have right to receive the food security allowance. Coverage of population. Coverage of population under Food Security Act can be relaxed. Each state or each region can take their own norms, because in the need of the people or their intensity, all these things they have taken care, and accordingly they can expand their coverage. That is what the Food Security Act tells. Next, state government to prepare guidelines. Each state government to prepare their own state's guidelines, how to implement food security issues or food security programs, all these things. Women of 18 years age and above to be head of the household. This important salient feature of the Food Security Act, or one of the important factor the Food Security Act tells, is women of 18 years age become the head of the household. Irrespective of men in the house, they will not come under the head of the household category. Women only should become head of the household. This is one of the very, very important factor the Food Security Act is telling. So that is why women's empowerment status can be improved. Status of women at household can be improved. Women can go and purchasing power will be improved. That is why women make head of the household under the Food Security Act. Internal grievance redressal. That means whatever the issues are coming, that has to be taken care by Internal Grievance Redressal Committee. State Food Commission. Each state should form their own food commission. Salary and allowance of the chairperson and members. All the states, whoever formulated their own state food commission, they have to select their own chairperson and their committee members, and each chairperson and committee members are all entitled for their allowances. Food grains from central pool to state government. The food grains has to be stored in the central pool and it can be distributed the states whichever needed. So under this way, food grains can be distributed to the government, state governments, and then they will receive food grains from the central pool. Social audit on public distribution system. They have to conduct social auditing scheme on public distribution system so that public distribution system can be strengthened. Setting up vigilance committee. The setting up of vigilance committee can monitor and see the issues related to the food security issues. Food and nutritional security. When we are talking of the food security, we have to talk about nutritional security. Food security, which also included nutrition security, because nutrition security mostly related with the micronutrient consumptions. That is why it doesn't mean that only macronutrients only solve the food security issues. That is why food security means food and nutrition security both jointly can solve the food security issues. Other welfare schemes which are all related to the nutrition and nutritional health sectors, that type of welfare schemes also should be considered under Food Security Act. Penalties. If any section or any department is going wrong and they have to penalize it. Technology MIS system, that is monitoring and information system should be implemented and it can strengthen. So regular monitoring will improve the food security programs. Provision for advancing food security, that is any emergency arise, that advanced provision of food security can be provided. Other than the food security things, there are some of the issues also under Food Security Act has been included. These are all some of the issues. Agriculture. Agriculture is not the direct, but agriculture plays key role when we are talking of the food consumption, nutrition issues and all. That is why agriculture is included under Food Security Act. Sanitation. Sanitation is one of the important thing because sanitation and environmental hygiene at household level is important thing to control communicable disease and improvement of the health status. If a person is healthy, then whatever he or she consumed food can be absorbed by the body. For that sake, sanitation plays an indirect way to improve the nutritional status. That is why sanitation has been included in the Food Security Act. Safe drinking water. Safe drinking water means at household level what type of water they drink. That means the waterborne diseases, and because of that one health will be affected. If any individual health is affected, then absorption of the nutrition or food consumption cannot be possible. That is why safe drinking water to avoid health hazards, health diseases has to be improved. That is why safe drinking water is also placed under Food Security Act, so that at household level or at community level, safe drinking water measures can be taken so that improvement in health status and then nutrition absorption and nutrition status will be improved. Nutrition education. Nutrition education is one of the important thing so that the community, the individual level or at group level or society level, the issues related to the nutrition or belief system can be solved, because there are so many traditional practices or customs related to the food consumptions are pertaining in our community, in our society. Starting from the breastfeeding, colostrum feeding, what type of food or taboo food, these are all some of the issues related to the customs. Given this type of scenario, nutrition education plays major role so that community or individual or persons can understand what type of nutrition food they can consume so that their nutritional health status will be improved and they will be well and their health will be well and then their nutrition status will be good. With all these things, Food Security Act gives us all good and successful results. Thank you.